Picture this. You have spent weeks building to this moment. The outfit is planned down to the last detail. The makeup is done. You have memorized every lyric, every key change, every dramatic pause. You are inside the venue. The energy is climbing. And then, minutes before Lady Gaga is supposed to walk out onto that stage in Miami, your phone buzzes. The show is canceled. Not hours before, not that afternoon, minutes. You are already there, the lights are already on, and it is over before it ever started. That alone would be enough to send the internet into full spiral mode. But then, she canceled Montreal too. Same energy, same timing, same brutal last-minute blindside. Two cities, two audiences already inside venues or in line outside them. Two groups of people who traveled, spent money, arranged their entire lives around these shows, hit with the exact same wall of silence, and then a statement. And now, because this is Lady Gaga, and because she has a history that makes every single one of these cancellations carry extra weight, the internet has questions. A lot of them. And the answers are not exactly flooding in. Let's establish what actually happened, because the timeline matters here. Miami goes first, fans are in the building, energy is up, and then the cancellation hits. Not with hours of warning, not with a gradual series of updates that build toward the bad news, but as a sudden, hard stop. The kind of stop that leaves people standing in a venue, refreshing their phones, trying to figure out if this is real or some kind of elaborate prank. It was real. In her statement, Gaga said she had been fighting a respiratory infection for several days, had been doing everything possible to rest and recover, but that it had gotten worse. Fair enough on the surface, artists get sick, touring is physically brutal, in ways most people genuinely cannot comprehend. The pressure of performing at that level every night, the travel, the schedule, the human body is not built to sustain it indefinitely. But here is the thing that is making people uncomfortable. My coworker saw Lady Gaga perform just days before these cancellations, looked completely fine, no visible signs of struggle, no hints of anything building toward this. And then, abrupt, hard stop. No gradual decline, no warning trajectory, just a very sudden break being applied and the explanation arriving after the fact. That pattern, the total absence of lead-up, the last-minute timing, the back-to-back nature of it, is what is turning a health situation into a full online storm. Because cancellations happen, nobody reasonable expects artists to perform through genuine illness. But when it happens like this, twice in a row, with almost no notice, people are not just going to nod and move on. They are going to start asking, what is actually going on? And then someone brought up Montreal, because this is not the first time that city has been the site of something serious for Gaga. The last time she was there, she suffered a major injury and broke her hip. It was not a minor setback she pushed through. It stopped the entire tour. Everything halted. And now she has canceled Montreal again. Last minute, same abruptness, with fans already there and no real clarity about why beyond the respiratory infection statement that, to some people, is not quite adding up. So the internet did what the internet does. It started connecting dots. Speculation is running at full speed. Is this actually just a respiratory infection? Is there something else going on that has not been fully disclosed? Is there an injury underneath the official explanation? Does she simply have extraordinarily bad luck in that particular city? The theories are multiplying faster than the answers are arriving. And because Gaga has a documented history of performing through pain, pushing herself well past what most people would consider reasonable limits, the concern underneath the frustration is real. That history cuts both ways in this conversation. On one hand, it makes people more worried, because if she is canceling, something must genuinely be wrong. This is not someone who stops easily. On the other hand, it makes people wonder why the warning signs were not caught earlier and communicated sooner. Because the difference between a last-minute cancellation and a same-day cancellation in terms of the disruption it causes to thousands of people is enormous. Now, the two camps that have formed online, because there are always two camps. Camp 1. Fans deserve better. Back-to-back last-minute cancellations are unacceptable regardless of the reason. There should have been more notice. The communication was unclear and left people standing around with no real information at the worst possible moment. If something was building toward this, the production had a responsibility to act sooner. Health is valid, illness is real, but management and communication around it are separate issues, and those can be criticized without dismissing the health situation itself. Camp 2. She is a human being, not a machine. No artist owes anyone their physical health in exchange for a ticket purchase. She has given everything to her audience for years. If her body is telling her to stop, she stops, and the timing of illness is not something anyone fully controls. Criticizing her for getting sick is a bizarre hill to die on. And then there is the large, quiet middle ground. The people who are disappointed and frustrated and also genuinely concerned, who understand both sides and are mostly just waiting to see what happens next. Because if more shows start getting affected, this escalates fast. What started as frustration in two cities becomes a pattern, and patterns get a different kind of attention. Right now, there are more questions than answers, and that gap is exactly what is feeding the online storm. Fans are watching closely. More cancellations would change this conversation significantly. A fuller explanation might settle some of it. And the silence in the meantime is doing exactly what silence always does. It fills itself with speculation. Whatever is actually going on behind the scenes, the one thing that is clear is that thousands of people showed up ready to give everything they had to this experience, and they went home with nothing. That disappointment is real, and it is valid. So is the concern for someone who has spent her entire career proving she will push herself further than she probably should. Both things can be true at the same time. The internet just needs to decide which one it wants to be louder about. Drop your take in the comments. Are you in the frustrated camp, the concerned camp, or somewhere in the complicated middle? Like the video if this breakdown gave you some clarity on the chaos, and subscribe so you are already here when the next update drops. See you then!